I'm sorry, Andrew Weissman, but if I recall correctly, in 2018, you were one of the people who helped write the Mueller report, and you all botched the hell out of that.
And never in my wildest dreams would I have thought we would be here. I thought we were better as a country.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these sites that have been around for creating videos and all that, like text stock videos, they're done.
But that's why Canva was one of the first to get into doing AI.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020, Best Podcast News Award winner, 2020, Best... It was not... No, you know what? I forgot again. 2018 Innovation Award, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers and male caregivers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And between now and 2020, we've reached out directly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. So as always, I like to say, you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. You're watching Primetime Live, Primetime Saturday with Aisha and LaLa, broadcasting live on September 14th. And you know what? I always like to take a back seat to these two amazing ladies. So that's why I'm putting myself on the bottom of the screen. But it's true.
You're definitely the epic host. You've always got great things going on, Dr. Vibe.
Well, hey, it takes one to know one. Remember that was it takes one to know one. What's been going on, ladies? How we been?
Just recovering from COVID.
Aisha's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I know. I still have COVID again for the fourth time.
Ouch. Fourth.
Yeah. And I've been vaccinated too, so I guess it could be worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And LaLa is, she's already all over social media. Her next stop is Renovation Alley. You may see her on a screen near you. HG. LaLa, there we go. LaLa and HG. There we go. No,
that goes hand in hand. I actually did have a show on HGTV. One of my homes, one of my listings was featured on one of the shows, and so that's the benefit of living in Hollywood sometimes.
How long ago was this?
A few years ago. And you want to know something very interesting about this house I kid you not. There was something really wicked in that home. Oh, wow. And people would feel it, and I felt it when we went in, so much so my husband was like, don't you ever go in that house without me, because he went up there with me because it was a vacant home. It was it was foreclosed upon, but there was a lot of things in that house that were not okay, and you could feel it as soon as you walked in. So after they filmed the show, one of the crew members called me to ask me, he's like, this is going to sound really weird, but is something in that house? Did something happen in that house? So if you go to my YouTube, there is a video of it on there that I did a walkthrough of, and you'll see in the comments that one of the people who actually grew up in that house said, no, that house, there's something in that house. No, I'm not joking. It happened while we lived there. How's that for going into spooky season?
So she comes in with a haunted house on HG, the laugh and the flirty hair. Okay. Wow, that's quite a drop. Do you want to try a match that, Aisha K, or we just want to leave it alone?
No, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Okay. All right. I gave you an option. So before we get into it, family, join the Primetime Saturday Discord group. Please email myself, and you'll get into a DR VIBE DR period VIBE at the drvibeshow.com. Primetime Saturday store. There's the link, and then the Patreon girlfriends chat. It's hot. Also, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button so you can get more subscribers. And then like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook LinkedIn, and Instagram. If you also want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that you see moi or I'm around, certainly we'd love you to have that. And can never forget, she was with us last time, Dr. Tachi, Indie Soup Media, growing in YouTube spot. It's about 17,000 subscribers in 6 months. This is one of the programs you see, the edited version of this conversation on Indie Soup Media. Well, LaLa's prediction did not happen.
And I was going to say, I lost on that one because I really didn't think he was going to show up.
I told you he was vain enough to show up and he got spanked.
So for those who didn't catch it, last Tuesday night we had an epic conversation with the African women queens of the U.S. and African Canadian kings from Canada before, during, after the debate. If you didn't catch it, there is a version. There is the link on your screen you can catch on YouTube. I'll be sharing it on most of the platforms that everyone is watching. But after the date now, what more do you have to say, ladies?
Well,
I'll let you go, Aisha.
Here's how you know you lost the debate: when you show up in the spin room right after the debate. He went to the spin room to do his own spin. He says he's not going to debate again. Of course, we expected that. But again, on one hand, he says he won. And then on the other hand, he wants to complain and say, oh, she got the questions beforehand. That's your sorority sister.
Secret devices.
Yeah. Those Tiffany earrings had a hearing device. It's like, okay, wait a second. So either you're trying to make excuses for how you got your behind kicked or you won. Which is it? But the most disgusting thing to come out of there is this treatment of Haitian people in Springfield, Ohio. And he's not only doubled down on it, he's tripled down on it. And let's be very clear. The reason that he has allowed this to become the bigger story and continued with it is because he wants to distract people away from talking about the debate. Because all people were talking about in that 24 hours was the debate. He decides they're going to amplify this part. So now they're talking about this. People are getting bomb threats, and now he's running away with it, talking even crazier about deporting these people who are here legally, okay? Deporting them, mass deportations of them to Venezuela. He said that, and then even just before we got on, he was at an event, and somebody asked him about it, and he's talking about he's going to start mass deportation starting with Haitians. So here we go with this. And of course, this is also trying to get into that divide with the fundamental Black Americans who have issues with people of Black heritage who are who are immigrants in this country. Because I guess he thinks that's going to bring him more Black male voters. I don't know. But the fact that this is the part that he's deciding this is the hill that he's going to kill his campaign on, to me is ridiculous.
It's almost like he doesn't want to even be in the office. Like this to me is like he does everything and says everything that is so absolutely mental that he seriously needs to be in a mental institution. And I'm not taking that back. This man is mental. And he instills hate, he instills fear, and those two things are extremely powerful things. So when you see and you hear him saying things like this, the more his base gets amped up with the lies and they feel mobilized to do what they've always wanted to do, but now they're doing it out in the open. There are many instances where you actually see Trump people out on the side of the roads waving the Trump flag, and you see people in full-fledged KKK brigade. Right. It's the whole thing, and you see them out there, and this is exactly what they want. This feeds their hatred. This feeds the fear of others, and I know we've been making jokes about it all week long because who says something as stupid as that? But the flip side is that the base who truly follows him, the base that truly are MAGA, those people believe it, and there isn't anything that you're able to say to them to change their minds. So therefore, they're going to take up the charge and cause harm.
Right. And remember, this was started by a white nationalist group, this whole issue, and then taken by Laura Loomer. I mean, I don't know what to say about this, but is it something when Marjorie Taylor Greene that's even too racist for her? And she is a racist herself. It's too racist for her. I mean, this Laura Loomer person, I don't understand why he is at this point. I think you're right, Laura. I don't think he wants to win at this point, because it's like she's running off the deep end and dragging him along with her, and he's going willingly. It's like,
yeah.
How often do you have to hear more and more core Republicans come out and be like, yeah, he's too extreme, we're going with this side, for you to be like, wait a second, I'm not growing my base, I'm actually shrinking it. It's there's something, it's obvious there's a mental decline there, but it's clear that he doesn't have his usual people around him anymore, like his children. Melania's nowhere to be seen.
Nor does she want to be.
No, I think she's like actually living in New York now that Barron is at NYU.
She is, and she's really staying out of the thing. Now, I think she did come out and say something, and I can't remember what it was. I'll have to look it up. But, it was something so vague, something so ridiculous. We do definitely know, we know this. Girlfriend renegotiated this marriage contract if she ever feels like she has to step foot in that White House. She didn't want to go the first time, and she surely now don't want to go again. So whatever, they have their own agreement of what's going on. She renegotiated because she doesn't want any part of this. So, right. It's just, I'm angry. I'm angry again. I go through seven, all the phases of emotions every day about this election, because my husband and I have talked many, many times about how in the hell are we here again with this, with this option. Now, listen, I'm okay. I'm cool with Vice President Kamala. I'm okay with that. I finally feel like we've got what we need to push through. Of course, she's going to be attacked. She didn't think that she wasn't going to be. She was prepared. Right. She knows she's going to be. However, how? Tell me, how do we have a convicted felon on the ballot? How? And exactly. How is he getting such special treatment? Because everybody's afraid to touch him. They're touching with gingerly gloves. Because if they do attack him,
we'll get to that on our next story. But yes, I understand.
Yeah, but this is, I think this is, if I was her, I would have been insulted that I had to be on the stage with this very unserious person. Yeah.
Well, you could tell by her facial expressions, she was going, whoa. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. And it's really interesting to me that, you expect him to say crazy things. You just really do, because he does all the time. And he never finishes sentences well. He just does not speak well, period. And he speaks crazy on top of that. So crazy and unwell don't go well together. But it never ceases to amaze me that he always says something that is so out of the blue that you literally go, what the hell? Like, you have to really check yourself to be like, did he just say that? Like, he just vomits anything. And then he goes all the way in with it. He never backs down. He just sticks with it. And I actually went back and I saw a really great clip of previous debates where each one of the candidates, both sides, were respectful to one another. They admitted when they were wrong in certain cases. And this is from both sides, not just Democrats, okay? Because y'all know everybody mostly knows that we lean a little bit that way. But there were also Republicans that also came on and said, I made a mistake, or no, I still stand by what I said, and it was very civil. We have come to a point where this is just a circus. This is a shit show. And we're just there to see what's going to happen and what comes out of his mouth, instead of listening to what we need to listen to, what the key points are. What do you stand on? What do you promise? What is your base? What is your policies? What is your plan? You can't get any of that out because he's so crazy. You can't even get him to stay on the rails.
Right. And that's the other part too, is that there were very pointed questions, There were questions that she didn't answer completely, but how could you in 2 minutes? At least she attempted to, or at least stay on topic. He went, when the question was about Ukraine, how did he veer back into his crowd sizes? She really tripped him up.
He's fascinated with that. He's really obsessed with crowd sizes.
She tripped him up, and people say that she started with that handshake. She went into his space, shook his hand because he was not trying to, and that threw him off. But then she baited him several times. When she tried that, when she said that thing about the crowd sizes, he got tunnel vision. It was all he could think about the rest of the debate. It was over after that.
No, he can't focus. Like, everything has to be on him. Everything has to be in the positive light. Everything in the world that happens good is a result from me. I've done it. Me. Everything is me. I'm sick of me. What about us?
Yeah, and
because you're not in it for the American people.
Well, that's the point.
And I think she did it brilliantly. She did it so brilliantly.
But
because she triggered him with facts.
And she said he was not there. He was going to talk about himself and not about the people. And what did he do? That is exactly what he did. The moment it got to the point, when she mentioned the crowd size, everything, he just came completely unhinged. Because that's when he started they're eating the dogs or eating the cats. It's like, dude, you sound like a crazy person. It literally was a debate between sanity and rational thinking versus craziness. And I agree with you, April. His mental state needs to be court order tested. He should not be, he shouldn't even be let near power. At this point, the Republican apparatus, I guess they feel that they're too far gone now because we're like 50 days out. But the Republican apparatus needs to say, hey, wait a second. We have a crazy person running the head of our party. And that's why you see all these other Republicans getting off the rails. I mean, like jumping off the ship. They're like, no, it's like time to save ourselves. That's the Titanic right there. That is the SS Titanic. Okay.
Well, I know he's going crazy because didn't they come out in the basic GOP? Most of the people are saying, look, we're going to accept whatever the elections are. Yeah. And he wants them to be angry. He wants them to rile up. He wants war when he loses. I'm not going to say if, when. I'm claiming it.
And that's why he's stoking this stuff and fear with the Haitians, because it's part of what he said. It's going to be bloody. Right? He said this is going to be bloody.
Yes, she did. She did give him that, saying that it's going to be a bloodbath or whatever if he doesn't.
Yeah, she did throw that at him.
And he said that, and he sort of pushed it away. But
you said it.
Yeah,
you said it at a rally. Not only that, but he said it at a rally last night. And make no mistake, I don't care what kind of Black person you are. When they see Haitian was just a dog whistle, okay?
Again, he's got many dog whistles.
This was his way of trying to start a race war. He talks about things being bloody and mass deportations. You have to read Project 2025. Mass deportations, they're talking about rounding up all Black and brown people, regardless if you were born here or not. And so, again, this week it was Haitians. Week before last it was the Latino community, the Jewish community. They're coming for everybody. Women in 2022, they're coming for everybody, one by one by one.
Yeah, and it's all minorities, black, brown, anything other than white. They're going to come after you.
And don't worry, because they're coming after white women too.
Oh yeah, they just don't think so right now.
I want to touch about what's the aftermath of this debate, especially for Springfield, Ohio. Like,
poor Springfield is trying. I mean, even the mayor, the governor are all like, this is not true, and they can't stop what's going on. But there have been serious bomb threats. Schools have been evacuated. Children are now being told to stay home.
It started with one picture. And the funny thing is that picture isn't of someone in Springfield, Ohio. It's somewhere, Cleveland, somewhere else, Ohio. The guy holding the two geese, the woman who took the picture, said that she wishes she took it down, but it's too late. She wishes that it never started. But he was removing them from a crash site, picking them, they were roadkill, and he was removing from the street. That is where all this originates from. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How ridiculous.
Roadkill in the aftermath.
Who's AI? Who the hell is AI when all this, you just got, oh, come on. You just blew my mind.
Now Trump is out there talking about, they're eating the geese in the lakes. And it's like, come on. Come on, stop.
No, he's not, because that would mean he would be wrong, and he can never, ever, ever be wrong. So he's tripling down, and he'll continue to go down this ridiculous rabbit hole of Alice in Wonderland.
I mean, you know what? My daughter reminded me about this yesterday. There's a book. It's called The Delectable Negro.
Yes,
and that
I got it.
About how cannibalism was being enforced upon the enslaved Black people, that they were using their skin to make briefcases, their teeth,
wallet, everything,
dentures, wallets, and even eating their flesh. So,
and I do highly suggest that you read that. That's by Vincent Woodward.
Yeah,
it's an excellent book.
And so the funny thing is that you have these very people whose ancestors were involved in cannibalism getting upset that people are eating dogs and cats, and that aren't even really eating dogs and cats. So then you have these other people trying to justify things. They're like, well, Haitians, they do voodoo sacrifices with dogs and cats. It's like, really? And last time I checked,
they're reaching.
Didn't do voodoo. It was hoodoo. It's a religion, not any kind of mysticism, and not all Haitians do that. It's the stereotypes.
LaLa, I thought you were going to get up and walk away, but
because you know what? It sounds like we're talking about a fairy tale. It literally sounds like we are talking about a horror movie. And there is sometimes I just can't sit with that, because I realize that we're not talking about something made up. We're not talking about something that is a story that someone wrote to put on a screen. We are talking about real people, and we are talking about a real country in trouble. And the more and more we get closer to this election, the more and more crazy comes out. And it just won't let me keep still. I mean, many times I have to really literally put on music. I have to put something else on to take my head away from it, because this is very heavy and it can be very depressing. And, I cannot stress enough for people to make sure that you take care of your mental health during this season, because they will have you running crazy. Hey, girl. Hey, hi, Michelle.
Yeah, this is silly season. What Barack Obama said was silly season in politics.
Yeah. The
closer we get to the election, the crazier it's going to get.
Yeah.
And, I hope that saner heads prevail at the polling booths.
Who knows?
Early voting starts like this week.
You're
in
kidding.
some places, right?
Wow.
I hope that sanity prevails, because he's going off the hinges. People keep saying, there might be this October surprise on Kamala. I doubt it. I really doubt it, because if the best that he has is they're eating dogs and cats.
Well, it's interesting here. April says the election should be pushed back to get him fully tested.
No.
I saw, and I just quickly saw a report where CNN showed his performance in debate back in 2020 compared to now, and they said there's a little bit of a difference on his cognizant behavior and his rapport since he, on the debate thing.
Well, don't you find that interesting that he kept trying to call Joe Biden out for his?
Yeah. And the other thing too is that it was very clear in the debate. He is so pissed that he's not running against Joe Biden anymore.
Yeah. Oh man, he is beyond.
He kept having to say, and she had to remind him, "You're running against me, not Joe Biden," because that was clear in how he was addressing her, and kept bringing up Joe Biden. And when he said the part about Joe Biden hates her, and he said it with such he hates her. I'm like, no, that's you.
No, that's you. But here's another thing that you needed to pay attention to that a lot of people are not talking about. But if you noticed, they asked him about JD Vance. There was a question about JD Vance, and he's like, I don't know, I don't talk to him.
I sort of went, what?
Yeah, we were all on the screen like, what? You don't talk to, how do you not talk to the person which tells you they're running two different campaigns?
And on top of that, guys, later on, he was talking in one of the rallies, I do believe, where he was saying he wants to make sure that he has power to get rid of the vice president if he feels like they don't align.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't talk to my running mate.
And you see, the thing of it is that if he could drop JD Vance right now, he would. But he's afraid it would make him look unstable.
I think
meanwhile, he already looks unstable.
We have to start. I think there's Kamala Harris memes. I think we're going to have to get LaLa memes.
Telling you.
The looks. So 45 said that he thinks there'll be no more debates. Do you believe that?
I do, because he got thoroughly embarrassed. Here's the thing. He doesn't realize, he can't understand why she didn't perform the way that he said. Because remember, he built it up in his mind, into his people. She's not that bright. She's not that smart, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, she was real stupid at the bank.
But here's the thing. He thought that he was going to be able to come and wing it because he believed his own hype about her. But she prepared. What was he doing the weeks leading up to this debate? He's playing golf. He was gallivanting across the country, well, considering when his probation officer allowed him to, doing little rallies and things. She was there. She was practicing. She was rehearsing. She was testing out answers. The other thing, too, is that he shows up 2 hours before. He shows up in Pennsylvania 2 hours before the debate. She was there for a whole week.
Yeah.
So she was comfortable, She's not just getting off of a plane to go do the debate.
And plus, she already knows, the strategy. She knows the strategy well. She knows what he's going to say. She told you in the very beginning. She told you exactly what was going to happen because she knows and she has studied him. And another thing, when they went to the 9/11 thing, and this is a real thing, guys, there are certain people who like to dominate with the handshake. This is why he was so afraid that he didn't even want to take her handshake. But he pulls people. If you go and you look at all of his stuff that he goes to when he goes to the overseas, when he was president, he was meeting all these people, always pushing people out of the way and snatching their hand, basically shaking and snatching. That's a dominant move. That's someone who acts like they're dominant over you. Well, at the 9/11 thing, he tried that with Kamala and he didn't get away with it. And he was pissed because she took her hand right back and brought his with hers. And you have to watch body language, people. It is very important thing. If you watch during the debate, all he could do
the two hand.
Yeah, and so then he tried to make it look like he had the power over that, but she was in very much control. But if you look at him during the whole debate, everything was
right.
And I'm not exaggerating. That's him all the time. If he's not speaking, he's not listening either, because he's just waiting to say whatever hate he's going to spew out next. He never listens to what they're saying, other than to be on the offensive or to call them out in some kind of negative way.
But the other thing too is he thought he had the mugshot face going the whole debate.
The whole debate.
See, the thing is that if he had done any debate prep, he did his debate prep with Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard's no comparison to Kamala. But if somebody had really been prepping him, they would have said, hey, remember, the camera's always going to be split screen. They're always going to see you. Don't scowl like that.
He can't stop that even if he tries. Guys, can you please tell me when you've ever remembered, and this is a serious question, when is the last time you've ever seen him smile? I've never seen him smile. Never. Not even when he thinks he's on top does he smile.
Never a sincere smile.
That's quite frightening. That says a lot about his personality and his mental state.
He's a sociopath.
Yeah.
He lacks empathy.
So Jen Myers is in the house. What is up,
Hey,
Jen?
Jen.
Sorry you're late. Michelle Hayward is in the house. What is up, Michelle? Got some other, also Leah Swede. Thank you so much for chiming in. Appreciate that. Yeah, so I guess we won't see another debate.
No.
Good, because I don't want to waste any more of my time.
No. We don't need it. We don't need it.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's go to another conversation piece and we'll go to a break. Very interesting article, and thank you, LaLa, for bringing it to our attention. If 45 was black, the New York Supreme Court justice would have sentenced him just despite a presidential run. I'll actually put up the opinion piece also in this screen, but thank you to LaLa. It's an opinion piece here written by Wayne Washington saying, bending over backward to avoid the appearance of anti-45 bias, Merchant failed in his duty to administer justice. So,
and it actually is giving the appearance that he's showing favoritism in trying to be anti-biased. It ends up becoming favoritism.
Which we all know there is no favoritism when it comes to us or anything that we do. We know that bonds are set high. A lot of the times our community can't even afford the bonds to get out to fight fairly. A lot of the times we have public defendants that are so overloaded that they cannot give us the attention or the proper representation to represent us. And because Trump is Trump, now he's getting all special privileges over this, even though now he's been convicted. Now, here's what I also want to remind people about. Everybody keeps saying this is a farce. How? This was done properly. He was convicted properly by peers, by jurors. It was no one in his camp, no one in the Democratic camp, no one in the Senate, no one. These are his peers that found him guilty. The due process does not allow for him to get special favoritism on his sentencing. So even though the judge calls himself trying to make it not look like he's the bad guy, it is still showing that he's getting favoritism on this because he's going to be allowed to be sentenced afterwards. No, that's not how our system works.
This is the second time. Because the first time was supposed to be the day of the debate. He was supposed to be sentenced. They moved it because of the debate to the 18th. And then they moved it again now to November. And I'm sorry, if you're gonna move it past the day of the election, fine. Then November 7th, you should be having it. It shouldn't be the end. What you're in? Wait, Thanksgiving, and then he's gonna come up with a reason to delay it. Then, oh, the holiday and this. No, stop.
No. And once
He was
and again, don't forget,
sentence his ass.
I'm angry over it because, as soon as that happened, if you recall, DeSatan came out and said, well, he was going to allow Trump to vote. Well, if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote.
Yeah.
So why the hell does he continue to get special privilege? Now I'm asking, whose pockets are being lined or promises being to these people to get what they want if he does win? Now I don't trust anyone.
Yeah. And I mean, we're supposed to talk about the shutdown, but the whole reason behind the shutdown is Trump.
So how does he still have this power?
Their sticking point is the voting law.
Hey, I just want to read. I'm going to read part of this opinion piece. The author, and the author's name is Wayne Washington. He goes, imagine that a black man robs a liquor store and then announces he's running for mayor. As he campaigns and during his trial, he publicly disparages the prosecutors, the judge, and the judge's family. Then, after the robber is convicted, he asks the judge he repeatedly insulted to postpone his sentencing because he's running for mayor. It's a preposterous calculus, and yet it's roughly analogous to what we all saw on Friday. Pardon me, there are numerous opportunities in our criminal justice system, to get leniency and the benefit of the doubt. Black people often don't get either. Many white defendants expect and get both. Much has been said about 45's threat to respect the rule of law, but that threat isn't simply coming from the former president. It's being amplified by frowning and feckless judges who cower at the first suggestion that they might be treating a powerful rich white man like the convicted criminal he is. Running for any elective office is a privilege, not a requirement, and not a right. It is no more an excuse to delay or avoid criminal consequences than is wearing a green shirt. But time and again, the nation is treated to judges who quite literally appeared afraid of 45 and his supporters. It's understandable.
And that's right there, afraid of Trump and his supporters. And that right there is the crux of it all, because these people are being allowed to behave lawlessly. They're threatening people. They're threatening to kidnap people, threatening people's families. Black people could not do this.
I want to continue on. So it's understandable the likes of Georgia election workers, Wandria Ross and Ruby Freeman, would be fearful of deranged 45 supporters threatening them for simply helping to count votes in a state election the former president didn't win. They were ordinary citizens doing the work that allows us to have free and fair elections. What's Merchant's excuse? He's a state Supreme Court judge who has protection. 45, as we all remember, was convicted of 34 felony counts in a case where he and his former fixer lawyer cooked up a scheme to pay off a porn star so she wouldn't spill the tea about him having unprotected sex with her. The scheme was designed to keep the said porn star, Stormy Daniels, as quiet as Trump ran for presidency. So I could read more, but let me just say, in delaying the sentence after the election, Merchant wrote his decision, quote, should dispel any suggestion the court will have issued any decision or imposed sentence either to give an advantage to or create a disadvantage for any political party and any candidate for any office, unquote. Put simply, Merchant got punked, this author says, since he was running for election to stay out of since when was running for an election a stay out of jail free card? He could have issued the sentence. 45 would have appealed and remained free while doing so, like many other nonviolent criminal defendants. Instead, Merchant shrunk from the prospect that he might get blamed for appearing to be biased against 45.
He's already being called that anyway. They were saying that during the whole trial. So what's different? What are they going to say that's different if he sentences him?
That's what I want to know. This doesn't sit well with me. Something is rotten, and unfortunately, I feel like a lot of rotten things that we know are true now will never be really revealed until way down in history.
Yeah.
And this is what is disturbing to me. This have and have not division of people. Is extremely clear. We've known that it's existed all over life, but this is actually on a presidential leader country level where it is for the whole world to see what we're doing. And this is very dangerous. This is sending a very dangerous message to the world.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, there's a reason. If anyone is delusional about the fact that this man ran for president 2 years prior, he declared his presidency 2 years prior to the election. Okay? 2 years. He did that as soon as they did that search warrant in Mar-a-Lago. Right after that, he decides he's running because he knew charges were imminent.
Like I said, I really don't believe the man wants to be president. I think he has very serious ulterior motives.
He just wants to stay out of jail.
Well, and the last paragraph in this article, in bending over backwards to avoid the appearance of anti-45 bias, Bertrand failed in his duty to administer justice without fear or favor and watered the deep-rooted cynicism in the heart of many Black Americans that the system is a bad joke and we're only punchlines.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, justice, where is there justice in this? No one else, no Black person could be convicted of 34 felonies and still be walking free.
True.
let
alone flying all over the country and has Secret
and
Service
speaking to world leaders. How dare you?
He's not even supposed to be doing that. This is a man too. If you should really think about this. We always talk about someone getting their security clearance. They can't get it if they're compromised in any way. Like if you have significant debt, you can be bought and paid for by foreign entities. Well, this man has convictions. He's got felonies. Okay. Why is he talking to foreign leaders? He can easily be bought and paid for. That's not someone that you want.
Which we know he's up for.
We know he's already done it. So why would anyone vote for this man who is highly compromised? If Putin agreed to pay for his legal fees in exchange to just wipe Ukraine off the map, you don't think that a President Trump wouldn't allow that? You don't think that he would allow that?
That's a very frightening.
That's a bare minimum.
Quid pro quo. That's all I'm gonna say.
Exactly. and to be honest, that's how we got here to begin with.
Yeah.
A quid pro quo.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're gonna take a break. And believe it or not, the American government may shut down again.
Yeah.
The more I know, the less I understand. So when we come back, the ladies will try to make sense of nonsense about the American government shutting down again. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. They need a break. I need a break. You guys need a break because the second half's going to be fire. Here we go. Primetime Saturday with Aisha and LaLa. Join Aisha K. Staggers and LaLa Key as they cut through the chaos and make some sense of the nonsense in American news and politics.
That's not a big enough sample to even say that this is representative of anything.
Sharp insights, bold opinions, and a touch of humor. It's the show that keeps you informed and entertained.
Those polls have you thinking, oh, I don't need to go there.
Don't miss Primetime Saturday with Aisha and LaLa. Tune in and stay ahead of the headlines. All right. I just saw some more LaLa memes that we could do.
I'm going to be the queen of memes.
Yes, memes. All right, ladies, and right, everybody, we're here on Saturday, September 14th, and we got some more stuff to chat about. And I'm hearing this. I'm going, again. The GOP might shut down the non-existent problem.
Well, they had a deal for this year through the early next year to continue funding the government, at least on a continuing resolution. They were supposed to reauthorize it October based on the deal, but Trump came in, swooped in. He needs a win. And truthfully, I don't think that he got the calculus right, because I don't think the American people are going to blame Democrats for this shutdown when Republicans control the House and all the House members are up for election, right? But the problem, the non-existent problem, they want to pass a citizens voting bill, which the Constitution already says you have to be a citizen to vote in our elections.
LaLa. So I'll read the story. Congress is heading toward a potential government shutdown less than 2 months before the election over this is the author, Naomi Lachance, a made-up issue. 45 and the GOP falsely assert that non-citizen voting could influence the 2024 election, when study after study shows that this is not a real thing. Exchange for a spending bill that would keep the government open, some Republicans are demanding legislation to combat this non-existent problem, and that would only serve to disenfranchise Americans. 45, who continues to falsely assert that he won the 2020 election, has publicly urged the GOP to move ahead with a shutdown if Democrats don't comply with their standards. Quote, if Republicans in the House and Senate don't get absolute awareness on election security, this is in capital letters, they should in no way, shape, or form go forward with a continuing resolution on the budget. Unquote.
But see, here's the problem. Here is the problem with this, okay? Voter ID. Remember, elections are run by states. Okay? We have a federal law that says you have to be a citizen to vote in our elections, period. But elections are run by states, which means the states, and because Republicans put this in the hands of the states, when they gutted the Voting Rights Act, they said the states can decide what IDs are proper to determine citizenship, right? Well, now they want to go back and put that back in control of the federal government so that they can determine what the IDs are that can be accepted at the polls. Even though the states still run elections.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So something that they wanted that they got, they now want something different because they think that this is going to stop older people from voting. So, for example, they had driver's licenses, passports, military ID, and I think that's it. In some places, all you have to do is you could show a student ID, you could show a state ID, driver's license, passport. Some places you just need a birth certificate.
Yeah.
But the problem is our Constitution does not specify that you have to have a specific kind of ID. Because remember, before, you didn't have to have ID to vote. You just showed up. Because remember, not everybody had ID. Not everybody had a driver's license. Not everybody had military ID. When women first got the right to vote, do you think women had ID to show? No. So this is a solution for a problem that doesn't exist. They're trying to create the problem by basically giving credence to a right-wing rumor that doesn't exist. Do you know how many people in the last 25 years have voted, tried to vote that were not citizens? 80.
Man, I
80.
need. Okay, and so I'm just going to stop just for a second. Ryan says, I love how the article is making sure everyone knows how nonsensical this all is.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to read a paragraph here. A database from the Conservative Heritage Foundation. Yes, the same Heritage Foundation behind Project 2025 documents only 85 allegations of non-citizens voting over two decades, a negligible number. Speaking of negligible numbers, the Brennan Center found that 0.0001% of the votes in 2016 were non-voters. There's also a 2022 probe in Georgia that found that 1,634 non-citizens attempted to register to vote, but none of them did so successfully. So none of them voted. And the study in Arizona found that 0.04% of Arizona voters were not citizens when they registered or after registering to vote in the 2020 election. Quote, the evidence very clearly doesn't document or demonstrate anything close to the claim that the Arizona presidential election was decided by non-citizens in 2020, unquote. Jesse Richmond of Old Dominion University told the Washington Post.
But what Trump tells people is that millions and millions of non-citizens were voting, millions of illegal aliens were voting. Okay, people, 160 million people voted in the last election. Joe Biden got the majority of those, over 80 million, and Trump got like 75, 77 million, something like that, right? They're trying to get people to believe that 60 million of those Democrats that voted for Joe Biden are illegal.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense in his mind that people would not vote for him. That there are 81 million people who do not like him.
Is this another form of attempted voter suppression?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Okay, so why?
Of course.
So in both of your lenses, why are Republicans so driven to voter suppression?
Because they can't win. Because they can't win
without cheating,
suppressing the vote. Here's the thing: they didn't expect North Carolina to be in play. It's now in play. Georgia's still in play. Usually, they were counting on just Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Florida. Those four swing states there. And now they've got Nevada, they've got Arizona, they've got Georgia, they've got Pennsylvania, they've got North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota is now, one of those states. So they've gotten gone from 4 swing states to almost 8. And it gives Kamala Harris more avenues to 270.
Yep.
And the other thing, too, going back to our first story, there are 300,000 Haitians registered to vote in Florida. Florida's back in play now. He opened his mouth this week. Florida's back in play.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
So this is what it is. Remember, we talked about this before. It's a numbers game. Democrats are expanding the numbers. She's also going and campaigning in those red places, trying to shrink the number of people that vote for him there.
She's diving right in.
He's not doing anything to grow his numbers. So he has to rely on the base that he has. It's not getting bigger. He has to make sure every last one of those people turns out. The only thing he can do to gin up their enthusiasm, because he has no policies for them, is creep in on these racial fears that they have about their shrinking numbers, particularly white men, and to creep in on the cultural wars. But the one cultural war that they had that they no longer have anymore is abortion. It's
Right.
that one is working against them now. So now all they really have is the racism. And you're going to see the racist attacks get,
which is powerful. Don't
That's-
get it twisted. That's powerful.
it's
Yeah.
powerful, but it's not going to grow his numbers. And
Right.
that's what he
Wouldn't it be interesting if he 45 got less votes than before, but still won?
And that would be, but see, he would have to win all those swing. He would have to win those 4 swing states, all of them. He has only one path to 270.
So,
And he has to win all the swing states, which also means he has to win Georgia. If he loses Georgia, he can't win.
okay. Do you think your government's going to be shut down again?
No, I think at the very end, they're going to come. They're going to get right up to the deadline.
wire.
Okay.
But they're going to try.
That was a great show, by the way. Go on.
Yeah,
But-
they're gonna try and get right up to the line. But here's why they're gonna pull back, because at this point it's not going to be about Trump. They're going to throw him off the ship. It's going to be about their own political survival as House members. Because remember, if this election was occurring in a year where they weren't up, they could go the long game with him on this one.
Yeah.
But they can't afford to, because they're all
Their own
on
necks are at
that
risk.
same ballot too. They're all tied to him. And they're tied to the ballot with him on it. And so, the one thing that they need is to not be blamed for a shutdown.
What impact would this have on the election if the government shuts down?
Oh, Kamala gets both chambers will be Democratic.
Wow.
She will have her house. And the thing is, and that's the part that scares them, there will be no obstruction.
That's right.
They'll try, but there will be no obstruction. And what you'll see is 2 years of rapid change. And that the next
on things that they keep on saying they were going to pass and then kill their own bills.
Right. And the next Republican, and keep in mind that by 2026,
Louisville's out. Louisville's in the house.
You keep in mind that by 2026, they will have identified the next Republican to run in 2028.
Yeah.
And that person will be basically kind of like a dead candidate walking if she's able to have 2 years of progressive bills and things and change. And I mean progressive.
There's a lot at stake here, and they know it.
Yeah.
And it's a fine line that they're walking, because many of them want to stay on Trump's good side, but they also know that they could be committing political suicide.
Right. And the reason for this Project 2025, let's be very clear, is that they realize that this really is their last election. Because if they don't win this election, it's highly unlikely that there will be a Republican in the current iteration of Republicans that there are elected for a long while. Because once we get past this, people aren't going to want to go back to that MAGA crap.
No.
And the Republican Party is going to have to come with a reckoning. And I would not be surprised if at that point is where you see a third party that is defected Republicans reforming something and leaving that old Republican Party to burn in the ashes of Trump's stench.
Right.
Well, I like that. I like that.
All right. Let's go to another conversation piece. And I know LaLa wants to talk about this one. Justin Timberlake pleads guilty to lesser charge of driving while impaired, which is a public safety announcement.
Yes, because as you recall, a couple of months ago, Justin was arrested for DWI. And he immediately came out and said that he was not guilty and he only had one drink, that he was not guilty of this and he was fighting against this. And he also kind of got a little butthurt because the cop who pulled him over didn't really know who he was. And so therefore he uttered the famous words, "Do you know who I am?" Type of thing. And he was driving behind friends, and the friends came out and said that no, he's innocent, he didn't do it, blah blah blah. Well, it didn't help, so he was arrested. So now Justin is doing a quick turnaround. He has pleaded guilty to impaired driving. He still stands by having one drink. However, one drink could be too much, but I've always said that. Because one drink can be so potent that you really are inebriated. And now, because of this, the courts demanded or required him to come out and give a statement in the hopes that when he comes out to speak about this, that kids who follow him will think before they drink. Well, I think that's bullshit. Because anytime you have to make someone apologize, the apology is never in the right place or the right heart. You're just basically getting the star treatment once again for being a star and still being able to do things that other people cannot do. Now, as everyone knows, this is my banner. My banner has been charged to pick up against any kind of drunk driving. No, Justin, I do not accept your apology. And no, Justin, I do not accept your statement. What I want to see is a change. I want to be able to see that it's genuine. And if you don't have a genuine heart, then you should serve time or serve community service, period. Do not drink and drive, not even one drink. You can take your life as well as many others' lives as well. And I don't want anybody else to ever live through what I'm living through right now. I'm still fighting. My sisters were killed January 15, 2023. And we still don't have the initial court date. And this girl is still walking free. And no telling what else she's doing. Now, I'll stop there because I don't want to say anything that I'm not supposed to say about that case. It's an open case. But my thing is, why continue to play like these people are getting punished when they're not being punished at all? It's basically, okay, this is Justin Timberlake, so let's just let him come out and make a statement and everything will be okay. It's not okay.
Yeah, that just
He continues.
bugs me. That bugs me. Because
Everything bugs me about it. I mean, it's drunk driving now. You hear there's so many other heinous crimes going on in the world too, that now I think people put a level of seriousness on certain crimes. And so even though people are killed with people who are drunk driving, it's still in their mind not as bad as someone going out with a gun and doing the same thing. Actually, there is no difference. You made that conscious decision to get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more topic and we're going to do a remembrance because we lost a giant, especially vocally, in the world last week, James Earl Jones.
Oh my God. Do I just love him on every level? You know who I am actually really excited and was very thrilled and happy that did so many wonderful tributes to him? Sesame Street. Oh. Because he was one of the very first stars who came and worked with them very closely, and not just once, but over the years, over and over, he would come back, and they really feel his loss, and they did beautiful tributes to him. And also the guy who played Luke Skywalker, I can't think of his name right now because
Mark Hamill.
Yes, he came out with an epic tweet that said, "Rest in peace, Dad."
Wow. Well, Aisha, any remembrances of The Voice?
No, because there's disappointing things to find out I hate when that happens, like when people die and you hear the disappointing thing. So I'm still trying to suffer through that part.
Okay. No, what a legacy, what a voice, what a presence.
I still haven't finished watching all the way through Claudine with him and Diane Carroll.
Wow.
I plan on doing that tomorrow.
Wow.
Epic.
That's serious OG status when you say that. Wow. James Earl Jones. People, if you get a chance to check that movie out, please do. Like, yes, everyone knows him be voice, but he was a very good actor. Very, very good actor.
And overcome stuttering.
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
He was a stutterer.
Oh, he was a massive stutterer. Yes.
He was.
I remember him from Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars.
Yep.
And more than things, yeah.
Absolutely. So we lost a true giant. We're losing some lions and some lionesses, and it's so unfortunate. So that's why we've got to celebrate them while we give them flowers while they're alive, not just when they're gone.
Yeah.
That's very, very important. All right, ladies, we call it. Hey, folks,
and don't forget Frankie Beverly.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
And Sergio Mendez.
In the same week.
Mm-hmm.
3 giants.
Who's the other one?
Makes you wonder, why are y'all leaving so fast?
Was James Earl Jones, Frankie Beverly, and Sergio Mendez basically within the same week?
Who?
Yes. Sergio Mendez.
Brazil, 66.
Oh, there's also that ballerina, the black ballerina.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't call her name, but she's just 29 years old. 29 years old. Prima ballerina.
No longer with us?
No, she died this week.
You're kidding me. I didn't know.
They don't know what her name is. Michaela the Prince?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Michaela the Prince. Yeah.
Yes, Michaela Mabinti the Prince.
Correct.
Wow. Well, as I was saying, we're doing a little bit of a shorter conversation because first Aisha's not feeling good, but she's not going to be with us next week because it's her birthday weekend. So happy birthday on the 23rd and LaLa has had, both of them have had long days. LaLa, I keep on saying home Renault superstar, is and Mean Queen. I think I'm waiting for the day to see Mean Queen, you and Ms. Harris together with the facial expressions. I think that makes some great T-shirts.
It's just right.
There you go. Well, before we go any further, how do we get a hold of LaLa?
I make it easy.
Say it again. Go ahead.
I make it easy for you. I make it easy for you. I have one place where you can go see all of my socials, all of my articles, and get a lot of freebies. All you have to do is go to bit.ly/Laura Key Info.
Wonderful. And Ms. Staggers.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Aisha Staggers or Instagram at AK Staggers.
And hopefully we'll get your wonderful daughter on some of these conversations in the future because she rocked the house on Tuesday. And like she had everybody's ear on Tuesday. Everybody's ear. So as we say, apple don't fall far from the tree. Bam, done. All right. And that's it. So how are we going to end off here? Okay, so you can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You can also watch it on my website, the drvibeshow.com. As always, join the Primetime Saturday Discord group. Email me dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. The store products. Go for it. There's the link. And it's also in the chat on most of the platforms you're watching this, in the comment section. And Catch Girlfriends Chat. with both these wonderful ladies and Ms. Jill Jones. There's a link there. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Hit the notification button so we can get up to 1,600 followers. And then advertise your business, product, or service on the platform. Please email me dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. So that's it. That's all. And it has been a very, very, very crazy week. We've been on a number of times on the platform. So I hope you've been tolerating us while we've been dominating the airwaves. Yes. And again, that conversation on Tuesday, check your comment section. Remember, North American conversation. I don't think anyone else did it for that debate. That's why we are who we are and what we do. So, Jen, thank you. Fabulous show as always. And you can show up anytime. You're never late, Jen. You're on time. And thank you, Ryan, for your continued support. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. All right, this is how we ended off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And remember, just don't manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourself grace. God bless, peace be well, keep the faith, and walk good.